Welcome, world, to Life, Love, and Wellness Global, a worldwide wellness movement. I am Reverend Sandy Rogers, and as the creator of this historic event, it is my pleasure to welcome you. We come together to bring you this historic event. We have practitioners, holistic practitioners. We have medical doctors, we have spiritual individuals. This event is so lovingly dedicated to my mother, Mrs. Barbara Dean Brown. And my mother taught me like 40 plus years ago about the importance and the meaning behind herbs. And she would always say, we don't know what they putting in those pills, so you better not, get hooked on prescription drugs. And so we listened to Mom, but not all of us paid attention. My sister, bless her heart, was diagnosed recently thereafter with asthma, and she was prescribed prednisone, which is a very powerful steroid. And my sister actually got hooked on steroids, like someone out on the street kind of hooked, like on heroin or crack or something like that. And so my mom and my sister are both on the other side, living in the other dimension, but they're upholding me, and this is dedicated to their memory. So we don't want to come and make you change your mind about what you're doing. We just want to provide information to you, something different, so that you have options to choose from, so that you're not stuck. Because the environment that we now live in, the fast foods, the toxins in the air that we breathe and in the water that we drink, and the processed foods, and all of that is causing havoc on this precious body temple. So God created our bodies to heal themselves, but they can only heal themselves when they're fed and they're nourished and they're stress-free. And so the 60 or so or more experts that we have are bringing you this worldwide wellness movement in an attempt to share their testimonies and their information with you. So we have from age 14 on up. I don't even know what the oldest age is. I think 88 or something. So you see, that's a wide range of knowledge that we're bringing you. And so we hope that you come and that you get all the knowledge that you need to affect a positive change on your life, and share this with others. It's free, it's online, and so we're just so thankful that you decided to be a part of our listening community, the viewing community, and we certainly appreciate you for giving us your time of day and your energy and your efforts to being with us and to being a part of this historic event. We have pulled together people of color for you, by you, right? So we want to make sure that you understand that we too, melanated people with color, can enjoy, practice, and participate in some of these modalities that others have been doing for centuries, and that is pretty new to our community. So we talk about Qigong, we talk about meditation, yoga, spiritual work from a different perspective than religion. So we talk about the spirituality aspect. We talk about abuse in the families. We talk about all kinds of subjects because we know that in our communities there are layers and layers and layers and layers of stuff that we never talk about that's causing a negative effect on our bodies and its healing process. So we address it, whatever it is, and we hope that you will benefit from the many experts that we have, and that you walk away with lots of knowledge and lots of new information, and that you become fully empowered to share information with others. So thank you for being with us. We love you and we bless you, and we look forward to doing this again. But thanks for being here with the first one. We appreciate you.
Life, love, and wellness. Life, love, and wellness.
Welcome to Life, Love, and Wellness Global, a worldwide wellness movement. We're thankful that you're with us and joining us to share his expertise, his passion and compassion for your health and your wellness is Doctor B, Sirius. So Dr. B, would you kindly introduce yourself to the audience, please?
Well, my name is Doctah B, Sirius. I'm an herbalist. I am an ontologist, a part of metaphysics, and we help people become more of who they'd like to become.
I remember my first introduction to you. I brought a young man, 19, maybe 18, 19 years old, that had just been diagnosed being HIV positive.
Mm-hmm.
And what impressed me so, you were in Los Angeles, and I'm from Los Angeles, and so I was returning there to help this young man. And the first thing you asked of him was, do you want to live?
And that's the big question. What do you desire? Because we are creating self-fulfilling prophecies with our words, which is spelling. What is the spell? What is the spin? What would you like? Because we know what you would not like, what you're going through, your symptoms, whatever they're calling it. But what would you like? Because we need a destination. Once we have a destination and you're sure you would like that destination, then we can map out a path. But until we have that, if you're just floating in the ocean, there's nothing that we can do to assist you with getting to that place of manifestation.
And how easy is that for people to put words to what they ultimately want to see their life look like?
Well, it's a challenge many times because we're taught the language of struggle. We're taught the language of disempowerment. We learned it through our parents, through our community, through the way that we were taught to convey our words. But when we shift that to only speaking of what we desire, your cells, right? The monoatomic particles in your body, the metaphysics of your being co-conspires with the universe, your ancestors, the cosmos, your angels, or whatever it is, the creator of all, to bring that to be. So it is a challenge because folks usually talk about the problem, and they almost go blank when you ask them, well, what would you like? It's like even when you ask folks how much money would you like, they always mention $1 million. I said, well, that's only $500,000 after you get rid of, after you pay the taxes. So what is it that you truly desire? If you truly, desire to be healthy, wealthy, and wise, let's speak those words, send that out. And then we can begin to put in place the ways of eating, the ways of living, the ways of walking, the ways of talking, because it's a path, or what they call in the Asian countries, they call it a Tao. I think it's Chinese. The Tao, your path. What is the path that you're on? And a lot of us, because of our language, the way we eat, the way we live, our lifestyle creates a pathology. So we're creating a pathology based on what you've ended up with, based on how you're living. But you create a path or a Tao when you are focused and sure, and you eat, in accordance with that goal. You live, you breathe, you mate, everything you do. Every single day, you're moving towards that goal no matter what, and you never give up.
You make it sound simple, and I'm sure people are looking and listening and saying, no, it just can't be that easy.
It is not easy, but it is simple. It is not easy because we're challenged. We've been programmed by a way of thinking and living. You see, that subconscious is the automatic mind. It's a machine. It doesn't think. It takes everything you're saying and ties it with the vibration, the energy, the emotion of what you're saying. So if you're stuck to it, this energy, this emotion, it takes that word vibration and says, make it happen. If you could change that by having new habits each day. So that's where affirmation comes in play. Saying what it is you truly desire each day. And even in affirmation, we have to make sure we don't mention the problem. I was talking to a very famous person. I don't want to say the name because everybody knows me. And I coach a lot of folks who are big. And He says, Dr. B, I get up every morning and I say, I beat cancer. I beat diabetes. I beat heart disease. And he goes down the list. And I say, don't you ever say that again. He was like, what do you mean? I says, you're affirming the problem. Your mind is programmed in a way to take notice of the biggest vibration. And those words are huge. Let's just say, I'm healthy. He says, well, don't we need more than that? No. Simple. Now, it's challenging to do that because we're used to talking too much. Why do we talk too much? We're insecure. We want to make it seem like we know stuff. We want to seem intelligent and talk a certain way to impress people. I know a lot of things. The wisest people I've worked with, very quiet. They might say one sentence. That's it. One word. Like, shut up. One of my, Dick Gregory, we'd be together and he'd just be like, Dr. B, shut up. He'd use other words. Sometimes he'd use some curse words. I'm like, well, what does that mean? He says, you're talking too much. I wasn't even talking. He says, in your head. Too much. So we need more. We need less. More less. So we eat too much. If we eat less, you'll live longer. You see, if you speak less, cut it down to very simple statements and be very direct, you'll receive more. So if you say, I would like to create wellness, all you got to do is shift that. I am feeling better and better each day. Just keep saying that, and that vibration begins to tell your cellular structure to heal. But if every time you go to the doctor, they mention your problem again. I remember my doctor didn't even know what was wrong with me half the time. He'd have to get out the chart and look at me and say, oh yeah, that's right. So how's your such and such? So you didn't even know what was wrong with me. And he come in limping, what I'm saying? Well, what's wrong with you? You don't look like this don't look too good. You and the nurse out there, y'all coughing and sneezing and what I'm saying? So what we have to do is be very direct and be the captain of the ship. Our vessel it's a ship. It's a spaceship. They call it the Merkaba. This is your spaceship. If you're the captain, you got to watch out for pirates. You got to look for leaks. You got to look for lazy crew members. Do you understand what I'm saying? And some of your friends, let them get on the boat and they brought cargo. And half that cargo downstairs is not even yours. So half your memories, your feelings about things, and your judgments are not yours. Even what you feel about disease. When the doctor told me I had a very short time to live, I was nervous. I mean, he's got on a white coat. He got degrees on the wall. I'm like, oh, what the hell was, like, he didn't have no Bible. He didn't have no Quran. He didn't have no beads. He didn't have cowrie shells. He didn't have nothing. But he's going to tell me that I got a short time to live. Well, he died like a year and a half later. That was 30-something years ago. Because I walked out of it and realized he was practicing medicine, right? He was treating the disease, giving it, treating it good. He was into maintaining illness in my mind. And the drugs that they were going to give me was going to take me out anyway. I said, well, let's just try this without the drugs. And that's what got me into searching for natural things. Because I was very wealthy. I said, look, I got $500,000 in a suitcase. He was like, there's nothing that we can do at this particular time but keep you comfortable. I've been comfortable. That's what happened. These comfort foods is what got me here. You want to give me some more Oreo chicken? Oreo chicken. You know what I'm saying? You want to give me this stuff to keep me comfortable in the microwave and all of these things, which is actually making life seem simple, but it becomes complex. You see? So it's about finding a way or a path that is a rhythm. Simplicity is the way. Stop trying to know so much. See, we got so much knowledge available to us now with Google. You feel like you're doing it. You're conscious now. Everybody's conscious. The maniac down the corner is conscious about his maniacism. The newsman is conscious about he's putting a spin on this information that you think really happened. It didn't happen. It's about commercials, selling commercials. It's about a show. It's about Hollywood. You see? So once you are very intentional, and then you need to have intensity with your intention every day, because you're going to wake up and forget. Like I said, this morning I woke up, I didn't know who I was. And I had to remember, wait a minute, okay, what am I here to do? And I said, I got to exercise, I got to do this, I got to eat that. Don't eat this over here. Even though I could smell some food next door because they was barbecuing. The whole neighborhood smelled like smoke. And that took me back to family. Love. Oh my God, grandma, barbecue. This, you know what I'm saying? Because we're caught into the rhythm of what we think is family, what we think is love. There's people who call love abuse because they were abused as a child. And when they get in a relationship, if you're not abusing them, they'll cause you to. Because they call that love. You're in the hospital with your arm broke. Well, he loves me. You ain't gonna call the cops? Well, no, I wouldn't do that. That's because somebody else was abusing you. So when you get into that rhythm, you get into that music, the sad song becomes your life. You see what I'm saying? Then you go eat some food that's been abused. You eat some animals. They beat these animals. When I found out they take the pigs and put kerosene on them and light them and let them run around, I was like, well, why do y'all do that? They said, well, it burns the hair off. It brings up the adrenaline and softens the flesh. What? People don't know this. So then you're eating that as a celebration of family, as a celebration of love. I'm hungry. Lady told me yesterday, Doctor B, we can't fit. We gotta do our consultation later because I'm hungry. I'm dying. She mentioned she was dying. And she was gonna go to this place and get this cake to die for. She mentioned dying almost every other sentence. So you are moving towards that by creating that vibration. You are very attractive. You're magnetic and you're attracting what you put out as a spell. English is the only language that's called spelling. Spelling. Who created it? The British didn't speak this. They created this to put a spell on people. They use words from different people, put it all together for banking, and war. We talk about worshiping. Why do you need to worship? Worship. That's what the subconscious hears. You see what I'm saying? Are you worthy? I'm worthy. Are you war? It's a fight. The job is a fight. I gotta fight. My father always told me it's gonna be tough out there. It's a struggle to survive. It's gonna be a struggle to keep a wife. It's gonna be a struggle to be a parent. It's a struggle to go to college. I'm struggling. I was in college. That's why I only stayed 2.5 weeks. Because I said it's a struggle. I'm nervous up in here. These people look like warriors. I'm nervous. I left when George Clinton went on the road. And I was, oh wow, this is cool. Then I found out that was a different situation because I didn't know who I was because the bus was full of this smoke and that's a whole other situation. But we get caught up in the rhythm of ways of eating and living, and we call it love. You see, true love is when you look deep in yourself and figure out who you are without all this stuff. Who would you be without anything? You see, and it's almost challenging to do. It's very challenging to do that because if you could lose your mind, if you could lose your mind for 48 hours, your whole life would change. If you didn't know who you were, they found out people who have amnesia for more than a year, and if they had heart disease, cancer, many serious diseases, incurable, if they have amnesia for more than a year, they don't have the disease anymore because they can't remember it. Remember to put it back together. If you could remember to get up and drink some water, put a little salt, a little lemon in your water every day. If you could remember to do that before you go to bed. If you could remember to hydrate your body. If you could remember to rest well. If you could remember that most of what people are telling you is gossip. You weren't there. You were not there. You heard about it. Oh no, it's true because see the brother was from Africa and he had a kufi on. So now you got more stress. What if you didn't know that? What if you didn't know any of it for just 48 hours? You would still eat. You'd still like to go to the bathroom. You still feel love. You're still attracted to someone. But you wouldn't have the rest of this stuff. So part of what I do is called subconscious alignment. It helps people relabel the folders in their head about things. So instead of my father was never there and when he did come around, he beat my mother and blah, 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 blah. But here you are driving a brand new car, you got a big time job and you're doing it in life. Well, why don't we change that to my father challenged me to be great. He showed me the opposition. I use that as a springboard because we've become a little weak. Words hurt us. What do I care that the man called me some N-words? The man called me, I was in LA a couple weeks ago, The man threw up his finger, yelled off something. I looked at him and I said, I just mouthed, I love you. He looked at me and he grabbed the steering wheel. Then I pulled up on the next light. At the next light with him, he was looking at me. Then the third light, he took off quick because he felt like something had been done to him. All I did was take what you did and convert it. You don't even know what those words mean. We get caught up in what the words mean. Then we get caught up in what we think the food is. It is half of the food is Franken food. They created it. Chickens are not natural. You don't find no chickens out in the woods. I've been in the woods everywhere. I've never seen a chicken. I've never seen a white goat, a white sheep. I've never seen a brown and white cow in the woods. So where they come from? They're hybridized, they're crossbred, they're man-made. They're not natural. You see, there is a natural bird that's like what you call a chicken. There is an original cow. That's the ones that's in that bullfight. You see, they ain't going for this. You ain't taking no milk. They're going to fight to the death. Do you see what I'm saying? There is real mountain goats, but you're not going to mess with them. You see what I'm saying? So these domesticated things that we're eating keep you domesticated in your head because you're ingesting the vibration of domestication. You're using a language that's about domestication. Then you got this thing you call family. That's my family. I got a whole lot of family. I got one of the biggest families in the northeast of America. A lot of folks, I can't relate with them. Would that have to be you going to the funeral? No, I'm not going to the funeral. Why? I'd like to remember the person as they were alive. I don't need to see them laying there. You see, the most recent funeral I went to was Dick Gregory's, and that was a celebration for 3 days. And he was laying in the casket, smiling. Seemed like he looked over at me, slapped my hand. I said, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because he was living. And he chose the moment of leaving here. He chose it. They said, Mr. Gregory, we could take you across the street and fix you. He was like, you're going to cut me? No. He called his wife and said, I'm done. And smiled, took a deep breath, and left. Because how you live, right, has a lot to do with where you're going to end up. How you live. If you knew how you got to where you're at, would you change the course? You see, you have the power to change the course. You're the captain. You're the navigator. We let GPS tell us everything. You see what I'm saying? What happened to those old maps? Maps that folded out, it's all on the dashboard. You sitting out at the picnic table at the rest area, mapping it out. Or you get, AAA, they put the little orange line across so you can get across. Now it was GPS. GPS had me lost sometimes. I'm like, well, GPS, we passed the place 3 blocks back. Turn around now. Because we let these other things, see, this is what they call AI, artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence didn't start with computers. Artificial intelligence was the stuff you've been fed as a child that was not based on facts. That's artificial intelligence. It sounds good, it's strong. It was in a book. He wrote 6 books. I couldn't care if he wrote 6 books. Most books I open it to one page. I said, this is for me. Listen, Doctor B, you must have lots of books. In fact, I'm cleaning up in my place now. I got so many books. It's unbelievable how many books I have. What are all these books for? I don't read most of them. They look good if I'm doing a video and they're behind me. And that's artificial intelligence. People go, oh, he's real read, well read. Some of them books, I did a lot of work in Hollywood. This is fake. They got a whole fake bookshelf. So what I'm saying is the real intelligence is in every cell. When you sit down to eat that piece of food, if you learn about grace, Grandma told me, don't just eat, sit there for a minute. If you don't do nothing, just be quiet and breathe. Then something will say, don't eat this. Every time you eat this, you get hives. Every time you eat this, your back aches. Every time you eat this, you don't use the toilet for 3 days. It'll tell you your own internal divinity code, which is in every cell of everybody. You ain't got to have a necktie. You ain't got to go to some school. Everybody has this. If you could forget for a minute all that stuff that you learned, that you call intelligence, and just be in the moment and use your God-given, what they call it? Knowing, their gut feeling. You just know. But a lot of us don't have that gut feeling no more. We don't know what the gut says. I'm hungry. I got to go to the chicken spot. That's what the gut say. But you have to not eat for a while and drink good water. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna make love out of the things that are not love. You see what I'm saying? So we're involved in intercourse every day by meeting every second and joining with that second. Every second is intercourse. Well, what do you desire? You see, we have to choose what it is we desire. Even when you sit down with your mate or you met somebody, I don't care if it's like Luther Vandross said, only for one night. What do you choose to create? You're about to create something. We're not talking about the baby. We're talking about the idea. You might stop and say, look, we need a $50 million building on an island with a blah, 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 in a garden, or we need a village. Can we create that? And both of you focus on that. Drink a little water. Now get busy, right? Get busy what? Creating what you desire. When you eat your food, this is intimate. What do you desire? So if you're thinking about all the diseases that are in the world that they keep telling you about every year, I remember the year I was sitting watching television. I move my legs sometimes, and they said something about restless legs, and I was like, "Oh, this is a disease? I got a disease? What is the medicine they got? What is it? Ankle off? Your legs don't move at all now. Now is that good? You can't walk. You're hobbling now. You don't know how you got this because you took that medicine. It was no problem with you moving your legs. That means go get busy. You need to be doing something. So you get these little signals every single day to tell you what to do. But you have to know the universal God. The universal God is in everything. It's in the plants, it's in the herbs. The herbs are for the healing of the nation. We could just stop right there. The seeds, right? That's your food. The fruits and vegetables is meat. Now meat is pork chops and ham. Do you know this week, this is deep. This is ham week. Do you know how many hams people are eating? Because this is supposed to be the Easter weekend. I was in the store myself. The lady had 9 hams. I counted them. All she had, the only vegetable she had was some cloves. 9 hams. 2 carts. The children had 1. This is ham week. I thought your book said something about not eating ham. What is this about? Well, when Christ came, he said we could eat ham. Show it to me. I'm a doctor of metaphysics. I had to look at it all. I need to see where that's at. I don't see it. You made that up. So you got into that rhythm, and that's your habit now, because that's family. Because Auntie such and such is coming over and they like ham, and these people like this. So you have to be able to break free of all of that, and it takes courage. It takes determination. It's not easy, but it is simple to get off the road you've been on. How did you get here? If it's a pathology, it was a path to get you there. You see? So when people talk about a dis-ease, I'm saying things are not easy, right? It's a dis-ease because you're out of balance. What did you do? What did you do before you came here? I could smell Popeyes on you. Well, Doctor, I just figured I know you was gonna say not eat it, so I just went on and had it now. You see what I'm talking about? Well, I'm doing the Daniel fast. People doing the Daniel fast, and they tell me, Dr. B, I'm doing the Daniel fast. I can't wait till I get off. When they get off, they eat more junk. They microwave more food than they ever would have done if they didn't do the fast. Because they want to get it off of it. It's a fast. They want to get off it as quick as possible. It's fast. Fast food. Fast life. You need a faster internet. You need to talk faster. You like the person that talks the fastest. The fast talker. It's too fast. Slow down. Take some time. Breathe 5 times before you make a choice. You don't have to go along with everything because it sounds great. If it don't feel good, you don't do it. But you need space between you and all your thoughts. Clear your mind for a second and breathe. Take your shoes off and put your naked feet on the ground. Go grab a tree. Dr. B, I ain't got time for all that. What, then you gonna live? I'm telling you what to do. It's simple. It's simplicity. It's simplicity. You see people come to me talking about they want to fall in love. Why you want to do that? Love hurts, right? You heard that? Love hurts. It's a struggle to find somebody to love. If you love yourself every day and you eat like a lover, you act like a lover, you meet somebody, you're going to know instantaneously. It's also about you got to get to know them. That's not love. That's like a lot. Now you know they gave you enough information. You've seen enough good shoes and meals and things. Oh, they must be good. I went to his house. He got degrees all over the wall. How many degrees did he have? He had 12 degrees. It takes 360 degrees to make a circle. It's got to be a natural flow. So for us to get back to that natural flow, that will cause us to create a new vibration. And that vibration will be devoid of cancer, devoid of diabetes, devoid of heart disease, devoid of high blood pressure, devoid of craziness, because you're living within the law of nature and you're the captain of your ship. And who is the captain over you? Who is the president? The universal God. And you're sitting there vibing, you're feeling it. I choose not to eat. You can go to the Thanksgiving meal, but you ain't got to eat it. You see what I'm saying? Bring some kale, some cabbage, even better. Eat that. That's all you're going to eat. That's right. Now, when they start talking crazy to you, because they will talk crazy, well, you got to eat something. My doctor. When you mention your doctor, everybody falls in line. Oh, I'm on a special diet from my doctor. You see what I'm saying? It's a meat-free diet. What? Sodium-free. You see what I'm saying? You see, once you set it out and say, I am the authority of my life. See, my thing is, I very seldom follow groups. People say, well, Dr. B, what are you? What do you mean? I am right now. And I allow myself to be who I am right now. Well, aren't you a part of such and such? Well, I spoke for them, but I don't conform to any one thing but the universal God. So I may not come to your event. Don't feel bad about it. You wouldn't want me to be there and be feeling, uneasy, because I bring a funny vibration. You know, when you go somewhere and you don't really want to be there, how you feel, and you send that information out. You see what I'm saying? We're radio stations. We're sending information and receiving. So if I tell you I'm not coming to help you move Thursday, I'm not coming. Well, Dr. B, that's mean. You my such and such. Well, I said I'm not coming. Well, what are you saying? I said, now on that day, I'm going to be walking by the stream. If you pick another day, I may be there. But if you make me come on that day, I'm going to have an attitude. And my attitude is going to infect everything just like a virus. Because I got an attitude. You see what I'm saying? I'm sitting here mumbling under my breath, all this stuff. And I need to throw this stuff away. Because you come with your attitude. If you would like to change your altitude, then you got to change your attitude, which means you got to take full control, which means you got to be courageous, and you can't care what people are telling you. You get upset, and you got upset. You're not going to make me mad. You can't make me mad. I don't care what you say. You call me all the names of the world. You're not going to make me mad. Only I could make myself crazy and lose my mind. I'm already crazy. You can't hurt me anymore. I'm as crazy as they come. Crazy means cracked away from the mainstream. That's what they call an apostate or an apostle. They was called crazy and lunatics because they was out at night. Yeah, I'll be out at night under the moon. Yes, I do things very differently. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to take those words and use them. So the same thing with the ways we eat. There needs to be a rhythm. There needs to be a tone. If you have a focus and an intention. And if you come and say, I have this illness, then I'm going to say, let's eat this way. Let's get rid of your parasites. Because people have mental, physical, and spiritual parasites. Parasites are things that live on you or in you and use you as a host. What do you carry? How many worms you got? Well, Dr. B, I did this whole thing, with the cloves and the diatomaceous earth. That was for intestinal parasites. But obviously you got some in the liver because you're angry. You got some in your kidneys because you're fearful. You got some in these different organs that are causing these certain emotional outcomes. We got to cleanse you from the rooter to the tutor. So systemic parasites, they're throughout your system. Some are mental. Ideas, feelings, and expressions from the past that are caught up like a ghost haunting you today. That's gone. That was 40 years ago. Every time you tell the story, you break down and cry. Like it's today. And you meet a friend, right? You at the bar or whatever, and y'all meet and y'all both got hard luck stories and become hard luck friends. You see what I'm saying? Because you got something to agree on. We could just wallow in that. You see what I'm saying? You got to break that force. You got to say, no, that was the past. And whenever you talk about yourself in the past, say in the past. Or say she or he. And look away from yourself, talking third person. He went through a lot when he was young. You'll be so calm. Then you get to a point where you don't tell the story. Because when you tell that story, that causes you to eat a certain food. You're telling the story of hardship, so you eat some food that's going to cause you hardship. Now we got a dis-ease and an imbalance. Now the biophotons, the angels, and the ancestors cannot talk to you. Because you can't even receive the message because the message is confused by the hormones or the chemical messengers from dead animals. And you want to know what's wrong with you. What's wrong? I don't know what's wrong, Doctor B. The doctor gave me some drugs. The doctor's doing the very best he can do. The doctor, he really is attempting to do. They are doing what they really know how to do based on your conditioning. They don't study nature. Don't ask the doctor, does he believe in herbs? Even if he did, he can't tell you that. He got an oath. You see, I was speaking at this doctor's convention, right? And I was the only naturopathic person there. And the guy says, Dr. B, I don't know why you're into this whole stuff. Herbs don't work. Oh, I said, can I, excuse me for a second, I'll be right back. I go to my car and get my PDR, Physician's Desk Reference for Herbs. I said, you recognize this? And I held my hand over the herbs. He says, oh, wow, that's a PDR, Physician's Desk Reference. He said, but I've never seen a red one. I moved my hand and it says for herbs. He says, what? He says, where'd you get that? From the same place you get yours. It's on the shelf. When you go buy your PDR, there's one for herbs. The book is this thick. And the first herb I went to when I looked in the book was marijuana. I looked at the herb, I was like, what? Y'all knew this was a sacred medicine? All this time? You knew it? That's why you made it illegal. You see? You worried about people getting high. You see what I'm saying? You worried about people getting unstressed. Now, I'm not saying that how people use it, because now it's a whole other thing. You use sacred things out of the sacred vibration, then it becomes a problem. But I'm saying that these plants, they have studied. Because their first medicines were made from herbs. Your doctor may not know about it or may not be able to agree with it because he's got a contract with a drug company, which is a corporation that is looking to make a lot of money off of your ignorance. So herbs are for the healing of the nations. Knowing how to use them, when to use them, how to prepare them. Now that's a special quality. You just don't buy it because somebody said dandelion can fix your liver. But you got a problem with your kidneys, your heart, your lymph. So your liver can't even work correctly because everything else as a holistic system is off. You have to have holistic thoughts. So you're thinking a certain way, you're living a certain way, you're acting a certain way, and you're making love out of the things that are not love in your life. I'm not sure what question you asked, but they start coming to me and they come through. So
You answered it. We thank you so much. There was so much that you touched on, and you gave us a holistic view of how to view life, what changes we can make to experience a healthier outcome, to calm and de-stress ourselves.
yes,
To understand that energy that goes through the foods that we eat and how it impacts and affects us.
yes,
And I believe that once we can understand that and recognize it and accept it, that we will begin to make smarter choices. So
yes.
thank you so much.
Thank you. To really get it, you got to exo-stand also, which means stand outside and look in. And once you do that, you can elevate your life. And you can find me at elevationtime.com. Elevationtime.com. This is the time to write. This is the time to rise. Right now is the time. So no matter what they're saying, you need to get within yourself. Lose your mind for a minute, at least 48 hours. Don't know anything. Drink some water and lemon and just breathe. Much love and peace and beautiful harmony to you and everybody out there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Life